We've all heard of Joe's small rules that are apparently present in your life as in one way or another, right? Murphy's Law, Camelot Law, French's Law. Oh, you never heard of that one? It basically says that if something in cinema makes enough money, it bears being repeated, and having new stuff added to it, and rebooted, and remade, and cut to shreds and sewed back together in a mockery of what it once was. Case in point, the latest addition to the Halloween franchise. Ugh, seriously? Do we even need to dissect this? Can't we just save ourselves the time and say they are trying to squeeze the last drops of blood from a corpse long ago rotten and leave at that? Well, since delay only prolongs the pain, let's dissect Halloween Kills. So this takes place directly after the events of the last movie. The same night, actually, as we see Allison's boyfriend trying to get in contact with a friend who can't answer the phone due to a meeting with Michael.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, just giving the girl a hug. This turns out to be Officer Hawkins, having survived the previous movie. Poor guy.
Help! Help!
And I'm the one who's gonna get him.
Good luck with that. Slashers die and come back so much they probably have bets about it. Hey, did Fred go back to sort of life? Yeah. Wanna bet how they are going to kill him this time? Sure. We cut to a flashback, and I admit, it looks pretty good. Almost like real footage from the original movie. Michael is being chased by a younger Hawkins, but he easily evades him. A little too easily, I have to say. His friend McGabe tells him how he knew Michael when they were kids.
He would just spend the whole time staring out of his sister's bedroom window.
Are you that boring?
Looking at Haddonfield, a simple town where nothing exciting ever happens.
Well, nothing that doesn't happen in other towns in other horror movies anyway.
Touch Conrad's candy again, I swear to God, I'll
Yeah,
beat
we'll
your
beat your
ugly ass!
I'm starting to see why Michael became a killer. This kid crosses paths with the insane killer, but he has his plotter armor on, so Michael leaves him be. Excuse me, hi. This flashback's well done and all, but can we go back to the actual story? You don't have to remind us how bad the original was. They search the house for Michael in what I suppose is meant to be a suspenseful scene, but all I can think about is how, for an abandoned house, parts of that wallpaper look like they're holding up pretty well. Hey, I can afford not to pay attention. I'm not the policeman checking the house where a homicidal maniac might be. What's your excuse?
Hey!
Help me!
Michael uses the other cop as a shield and escapes. Again, quite easily. I get not hitting Michael when he was holding someone in front of him, but this? How are you even allowed to carry a gun? As Hawkins' friend dies, Dr. Loomis arrives with other cops. As long as Michael doesn't decide to calmly walk away, this should be fine.
Officer Hawkins, tell me, did Michael kill? Did Michael kill again?
No, he made me a cupcake. What the fuck do you think? Michael is arrested and the credits roll in a pretty similar style as the original movie. Just to remind me of what I could be watching instead of this, I suppose. Or perhaps symbolizing how they are burning the original concept after desecrating its corpse in all possible manners. Back to the actual story, a man is at an open mic night at a bar, but he can't listen to the people singing due to a loud group sitting nearby. He goes to order another drink and gets a side of exposition on the house.
They are friends with that crazy lady that almost got killed. They come for every Halloween, and you know, tears in the beers.
Yeah, they look really sad. But one of the men, Lonnie, goes to the stage to introduce the bar and the audience to his friend Tommy.
I used to bust this guy's balls when we were kids.
And somehow we became friends. You explained that one. Tommy, of course, tells them about Michael Myers. From the looks of some of those people, it's something they have to listen to every single year.
There was a babysitter, and a young boy and a young girl. And I was that young boy.
Yep, it turns out his merry group is made of people who survived close encounters with Michael Myers. Tommy and Lindsay are the kids from the first movie, Marion is the nurse that was attacked, and this is the kid that fell in front of Michael. Okay, I don't think it disqualifies as surviving. He tripped and Michael passed by him without a care. It's like saying the waiter who once served John Kramer is a survivor. Now, I give it credit that the movie doesn't assume everyone will remember Joe's character simply by their names after so many sequels/years, but the problem is, it still feels like a forced exposition. Like I just being reminded of their existence rather than being introduced to them. The second problem is the characters themselves, but we'll get to that later.
Join me in commemorating the victims and the survivors. The boogeyman is coming for me, and he's coming for you, but he's not going to get us because we will never succumb to fear.
Well, that was pleasant. Look, you want to remember the victims of a tragedy and honor them? That's nice. But how about doing it in private and not dragging a bunch of strangers into it? Imagine if you had done the speech during another holiday, like Christmas. I don't think there would be so much applause. Such as it is. We cut to Laurie, Ellison and Karen being taken to the hospital and taking the fact they are on yet another Halloween sequel rather well. It's my only way out of this movie! As for Michael, being trapped in a house on fire is like being a sauna, except it makes him a little annoyed. Oh, that's just insulting. I love how the firemen don't attack all at once, even after Michael kills one of them. Even if you are against a serial killer, you should remember to fight fair. Though I have to ask, didn't one of them have a chain? Never mind. We cut briefly to the hospital to be reassured that the only character besides Michael we still give a damn about, Laurie Badass Strode, will be alright before we go to those characters who live close to Laurie. They'll be fine.
That nutbag lives a highly flammable lifestyle.
Ouch, my eye!
Call the cops!
I have to say, this is brutal and vicious. So clearly I love it. Michael stabs the man's corpse until he finds a knife that's to his liking and he leaves. And sadly cut back to the bar. It turns out that Ellison's boyfriend, Cameron, is the son of Lonnie. Because who knew Haddonfield was right next to Convenient Land? And he tells his dad about finding Officer Hawkins as they watch the news about the murders.
This evening, 4 bodies were discovered in 3 homes along the same residential street. 2 patients of the local Smiths Grove State Hospital unaccounted for after...
It's disgusting.
It's Michael's gotta be.
I've lived here my whole...
Based on the evidence that... Look, this is Haddonfield. It's always Michael Myers around here. But in an attempt to make the narrative go somewhere, the couple from before sees a person in the car and call for help. Since they are sensible, logical people, they do the sensible, logical thing. Oh, would you look at that? It wasn't Michael at all. Who knew? Yes, from the scene alone you can all guess where this is going. But please do remember that when I said they wanted to make the narrative go somewhere, I never said it would be a good somewhere. By the way, the red light's not subtle enough. Why don't you place a few flames behind him as well? Meanwhile, Ellison and Karen learn that Michael is still alive and have the appropriate response.
What?
We're going after him. Me, my dad, you. If you want to come, we're joining Tommy Doyle.
What could go wrong, right? Karen doesn't allow Ellison to go play Michael Hunt, but she decides that, the hell with it, and joins the Happy Squad. It's like watching pieces of meat with targets on their backs. They split up and Lindsay's group tries to warn some kids, and once again, I wonder if you shouldn't just let Michael do his thing.
It's not safe. You're gonna kill me?
Yeah.
Satan, not today.
And like, there's a creepy man, and he's he pops out like, peekaboo. I mean, we're not 3 years old. Come on.
No, but you have the sense of preservation of a snail, don't you? Michael doesn't waste his time and tries to get the people in the car. Okay, they may get out of that one as long as they... Oh, forget it. The man tries to help Marion as his wife manages to escape the car and... doesn't shoot Michael for whatever reason. I swear, I didn't edit this. She gets out of the car, her husband frees Marion, Michael jumps in front of the window as they try to leave, and all the while that the other woman simply doesn't do anything.
Hey, Michael! This is for Dr. Loomis.
Oh dear, I wonder what happened to the bullets. The woman now decides to put the gun to use, but not necessarily good use. Damn it, does everyone in this movie have the aim of a visually impaired mole?
Gimme. I shot this shit before.
Doesn't mean you're good at it. Lindsay tries to attack him, but Michael's plot armor is harder than a brick. Oh no, no one touches the mask, bitch! We get the suspenseful scene of Michael hunting her, but let me just ask one little thing. Why should we care? This is what I was talking about earlier. There's nothing about those so-called survivors that makes you remotely emotionally invested. I remember this guy as a child. I don't know what kind of adult he became. I don't know how this woman dealt with the trauma of almost dying. Telling me who they were in the past does not tell me who they are now, so I don't feel anything when they bite the dust. Well, except perhaps excitement, because Lord, those deaths are awesome! Back at the hospital, Lori wakes up and Karen says that Michael is dead, not wanting to disturb her recovery. Place your bets on how long this lie will last, guys.
You had a knife in your fucking stomach.
It's a paper cut.
This is but a scratch. However, Karen realizes Ellison left. At the same time, a nurse brings Officer Hawkins in. As for Ellison, she's with Cameron, Lonnie, and Tommy as they find Lindsay's car. Wow. That is new, I guess.
Frank, are you awake?
Oh, we're back here again? Okay, at least we get to see Laurie and...
You know, I never said anything because I couldn't be sure. I always liked you.
Pardon?
I remember that night. I kissed you.
Where the fuck did that come from? Things, however, are not so romantic and sweet in the rest of the hospital. Tommy and the others bring Lindsay in, and Tommy decides to take control of the situation in the most out of control way possible.
Boogeyman is at large. This ends when Michael is dead. We need all of you.
Please, keep yelling. It's not like people need peace and quiet in a fucking hospital.
Evil dies tonight!
Evil dies tonight!
Are you trying to make us root for Michael? And of course Tom goes to see Laurie. After all, it's not like she's out of surgery and in need of rest. And oopsie, end of the lie. Hey, give them credit, at least they didn't drag this crap until the third act.
40 years ago when I was a kid, you protected me. So tonight I'm gonna protect you.
Look, just because your heart is in the right place, it doesn't mean your mind is as well. But Laurie, imagine that, is not going to just lie down while the crazy killer who tried to murder her before is out there.
Now get the fuck out of my way.
I said yes to this damn move, might as well do something.
No. Let him take my head as I take his. You and Allison should not have to keep running because of the darkness.
Huh? I'm sorry, did you say something? Sweet and touching as you're trying to make the scene, it's way too late to try and make us give a crap. Can't you just go back to Michael killing people? Thank you!
That's how bees communicate.
They communicate by shaking their butts.
What is in that honey?
Whatever it is, can I have some?
And now they're at the back door.
Well, now they're at the front door.
Oh. Guess Michael decided to play Ding Dong Ditch. They realize they have a wanted visitor and, like everyone else in this goddamn town, decide to take matters into their own hands and have the exact same results as everyone else do. Meanwhile, their other fugitive ends up in the hospital, passing by cops who don't realize anything, and of course the people mistake him for Michael Myers. Realizing what kind of movie she's in, Laurie has the face that every fan of the original franchise has at the moment.
It's all happening. Michael's masterpiece. He created this chaos, but I'm the one that brought it all onto Haddonfield.
What? You know you're dealing with Michael Myers, not a Joker, right? But the moment is enough for Officer Hawkins to confess that he stopped Dr. Loomis from killing Michael years ago, much to his regret. Because taking the law into your own hands is wrong, except when it isn't. I get that they want to go with what Dr. Loomis said in the first movie, how Michael is not a man but a monster, and even this conversation Laurie and Hawkins call him an it or the boogeyman, but god damn it are being lazy about it! But speaking of taking the law into your own hands, where's that mental patient? Oh, there he is. And now he isn't. What were you saying earlier again?
Because we will never succumb to fear.
Good thing that didn't happen, right? You all just caused the death of a person, no biggie. Laurie still wants to go hunt Michael down herself as she believes he's after her, but Hawkins explains that's not true.
It was the doctor that took him to your house tonight. It wasn't Michael.
It's not about you.
Why the hell Michael went after her in, what, 2 or 3 sequels is anyone's guess. But they already said he and Laura are not siblings in the last movie, so might as well break another one of his biggest characteristic traits. Seriously, what the fuck am I watching? Not the Michael. Not the Michael. Lonnie, Ellison and Cameron go to Michael's old home, and Lonnie decides to go in alone. Because he totally has a chance against the serial killer, guys. The things totally won't go inside after him and finding his corpse. Well, you could at least let me finish the sentence. The boyfriend gets the axe and seems Michael's about to kill Ellison. Sorry to everyone who wanted another showdown between one of the most badass female characters and one of the most iconic slashers. You get the whiny bitch from the last movie, who clearly knows nothing about the rules. Wait. You are not going to...
You want your mask? Come and get it!
I swear I'll take your eyes off it a teaspoon. Don't you fucking dare!
It was Halloween night. She was in her bedroom.
Okay, I admit, they don't exactly show Michael's face up close, but the glimpses we get are enough. Of course it turns out to be a trap, and Michael is surrounded by the townspeople, and we get a rather anticlimactic fight, during which Michael is killed. Sure, let's go with that.
I always thought Michael Myers was flesh and blood, just like you and me. The more he kills, the more he transcends.
Oh, shut up.
If we only knew then what we know now.
You wouldn't have said yes to this movie. Look, can we just get to the last scare so we can leave? Thank you. Just what the fuck was that? Halloween Kills, or Halloween Kills Michael Myers if you will, is another letdown in a franchise that already had quite a share of letdowns. The idea of a Tao going crazy with fear, exploring the worst side of people, is interesting and always has potential, but not when you do it in such a lazy in-your-face way, and certainly not when you try to play it off as being Michael Myers' plan. It just doesn't fit the character, who has always been more like a destructive force you can reason with than someone with a master plan. Perhaps if they had focused on another angle, it could have worked a little better. Sometimes a character says Michael has infected their families and the town, but the one spreading the fear and inciting the mob mentality is actually Tommy. However, the movie doesn't really explore that. And I'm sorry, but for me the whole thing feels like the movie is trying to deconstruct Michael. Some characters already have a certain legacy, a consistency that shouldn't be altered. He is one of them, and the changes the movie tries to make are enough to disturb the sense we have of who Michael Myers is, what his story is. If we were going for a remake, perhaps we could accept it a little better, as an alternative universe or a different interpretation, like the Rob Zombie's version. This isn't limited to Michael though. Laurie Strode, who had reached Ripley's levels of being a badass in the last movie, is now pushed aside in favor of characters that are either bland or simply unpleasant. Now, I admit the movie is not devoid of good parts. The deaths are great and Michael still has that threatening presence. Even during the most violent kills, his body language keeps that unemotional coldness he's known for. But the rest of the movie is frustrating. I won't say it is the worst Halloween sequel, but considering the franchise as a whole, I do not know if that's saying much. With this file closed, I hope to see you again in the next session.